I'm here with David Makovsky, Middle East expert. David, you're going to be sitting on a panel that's talking about the U.S.-Israel relationship. What do you believe is the status of those relations at this point?
Look, I think that, the ties between the two countries and the peoples are obviously very deep. There have been some crisis points. There's been some leadership trust deficits, I would say, the last several years. But right now, the focus is on the Iran issue. These two leaders, Obama and Netanyahu, will be trusted like never before. How they navigate those waters, we'll see in the aftermath of Moscow. How did the U.S. and Israel maintain their dialogue on Iran at a time that the Allied powers are trying to negotiate with Iran? This is going to be a real test, and I think that it's very important. There's no substitute for the leadership having trust between them, because it's clear that the U.S. and Israel, there might have to be some very difficult decisions made, alongside that diplomacy. How long does diplomacy go for? If it doesn't succeed, will it be announced to have failed? And will other options be tried? So I think the leaderships here are going to be tested in a way that the leaderships of the U.S. and Israel have not been tested in a long time.
Do you believe that the Israeli administration and the U.S. administrations are on the same page when it comes to Iran?
Look, I think in terms of the top professional level, you'd have to be an air traffic controller to count the number of visits going back and forth. That doesn't include the ones that are not announced, and doesn't include the videos conferencing on secure lines that happen without people leaving their desks. So the problem is not a lack of communication. That is clear that there's never been so much discussion as on this issue. That's the good part. But the question is that at a time of decisions, the leaders have to have to trust each other in terms of the decision-making phase. There's no difference on the following. On the intelligence assessments between the leaders on the state of the Iranian program, there's no difference on no containment. There's no difference on the strategy, which is pressure. But the difference is that the U.S. is a superpower, Israel is not, and therefore Israel has a tighter window of decision whether to strike or not. That's the difference.
The issue of Iran has somewhat eclipsed the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. Has that process fallen by the wayside, in your opinion? Will it be addressed in the upcoming few months?
We're not at the end of the play. We're at an intermission right now. It's a U.S. presidential election year. Also, we're dealing with an earthquake in the Middle East of a magnitude that we have not seen since the collapse of the Ottoman Empire of 1917. So I would be very hesitant, even though it's fashionable to bury the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. But I think it's more that we're in an intermission. It might come back in the second half different than we've seen until now. But the problem is not solved. And as Prime Minister Netanyahu says, if Israel does not want to be a binational state, it's in Israel's interest to try to solve this problem. Of course, the Palestinians, if they want a state, have to work with Israel too.
So many issues to discuss, and I know that you have to run, so thank you so much for your time, and we hope you enjoy the conference.
Thank you very much, Erielle. Delighted to be with you.
Thank you.